Hey guys, so this is Professor Dulaney. I am just going to do a quick video for y'all so that you have a good overview of where this course is headed. So we're going to start by just looking at the syllabus together. And it's in kind of small print, but you're able to actually find this syllabus as well on your Blackboard account. So the first thing that it's going to do is go through the required text with you. Texas Politics Today, written by Joan, the 18th Enhanced Mind Tap Edition is the book that is required for this course. Now, super important here, you have to get the Mind Tap version. That is where all of your quizzes and all of your tests are going to be located. Usually you get, I want to say, about 4 free trial days before you will actually need to purchase the textbook. Don't hold me to that, but usually there's 1 day per week of the course that you get for free through Cengage. Sometimes there is a glitch in the system where it gives you more days. But if that happens and you email me and you're like 3 weeks in and you're like, it stopped working and I hadn't had to purchase a textbook up to this point, cool, but you're still going to need to purchase one for the last week. So just understand that if there is some glitch in the system that allows you to access it for longer, but then it stops allowing you to access it, that you are still going to have to purchase the textbook. So I've got the ISBN number listed right there for y'all. Super important, we've got when all of the assignments are going to be due. So each day you're going to be responsible for finishing the assigned chapters and or quizzes. All quizzes and tests are due by 11:59 p.m. on the due date listed in the syllabus. And when we scroll down in just a minute, we're going to take a look at when those due dates are. Okay, you are going to have access to all of the coursework, which means that you can do the review videos, you can do the preparation quizzes, you can do any of the other assignments that are listed if you feel like they're going to help you with the quiz and or the test. But the only things that are going to count for a grade are your quizzes and your tests. So just keep that in mind. You're welcome to do any of the rest of them, but the only things that are counting for a grade are the quizzes and tests. Okay. Now, what happens if you're going along and you're kind of struggling in this course? Well, we don't have traditional office hours at this point. Usually you would find me in NFAC 2114A, but for obvious reasons, we are no longer holding in-person office hours. So for the time being, you are, of course, free to email me, but also feel free to email me and say, hey, I think I have several questions. Can we set up a Blackboard Collaborate session? A Blackboard Collaborate session is basically what I'm doing right now. The only difference between this and what we would be doing is that I would send you a link where you would basically be able to join in and ask questions directly. So it's like having kind of like a virtual classroom. There's a whiteboard, we can share documents, we can do all of those things. So don't feel like if you're struggling that you're totally out there on your own. The second part to that is realize that if you are struggling, reach out to me sooner rather than later. You are in a summer course. So summer courses, while they're not as intense and as shortened as the Maymester courses, are still packing a whole lot of information into a month, which means that all of your grades are going to start coming due really quickly. So if you feel like you're starting to get behind, as soon as that happens, reach out so that I can help you out. The next portion of the syllabus is going to have the assignments that are listed. I don't ever structure my classes with like traditional homework in my regular classes. Pre-COVID-19, we did just pop quizzes and exams. I've had to modify that, obviously. And so now you've got scheduled quizzes and you've got 4 exams. The final exam is not cumulative. Each exam is going to cover 3 chapters of the textbook. So each exam is going to be worth 100 points for a total of 400 points. Your quizzes are worth 25 points each for a total of 300 points. And right down here below, you're going to see the grading scale so that while we're going along, you can kind of figure out, okay, how many more points do I need in order to get the score that I'm trying to get in this class? Tests are going to be comprised of multiple choice questions. If you miss an exam, it's okay. You don't have to explain to me why you missed it. You get one makeup exam. Same thing with a makeup quiz. The only difference is for makeup exams and makeup quizzes, you have to actually write. So it's short answer essay. If you do it on the timetable where you're prescribed to do it, then it will be all multiple choice. So let me know if you end up missing one. It's not the end of the world, but we will need to get you that makeup exam. One thing I would suggest to you to avoid that, because things happen, right? The internet goes down, somebody, gets sick, or you need to watch your kiddo, or there's any number of things that could potentially arise. I open your assignments up early. So that means, for example, with this course, I'm going to release assignments in batches, and the first batch is actually going to start the day before this class truly starts, which means if you have some extra time on your hands, a couple days before a quiz is due or a couple days before a test is due, it might be a good idea to just go ahead and get it done early. That way you're not falling behind. Okay. So we can do a makeup test for any of the tests with the exception of the final. If you miss the final, PCC policy is that's it. So make sure that you get your final in. The rest of them, if you miss one, that can be fixed. But know that for the final exam, that really needs to come in on time. Communication. I check my email pretty much every day. That's a weekday. So Monday through Friday, I'm going to be checking my email. I try to check it once in the morning and once in the afternoon, depending on my work schedule for my other jobs. Sometimes it might be a little bit earlier in the morning, or sometimes it might be a little bit later in the evening, but it usually gets checked twice a day. You will always receive an email back from me within 24 hours, assuming that you're emailing me on a weekday. If you email me and it's like Friday at 9 p.m., you're probably not going to get an email back until Monday. But that's just something to kind of be aware of. Attendance. So if they require me to take attendance, which most of the time they do, I'm going to base that on your completion of the quiz and or test that is due for that day. So it's really up to you to keep up with all of the due dates in the course. I am uploading lecture content for you, which should hopefully help you if you're more of an auditory learner. But I don't want to say I don't care. That's not accurate. But you are free to watch that content or not watch that content. You're not going to hurt my feelings if you don't watch it and you're doing just fine with just the textbook. It's whatever you think that you need in order to learn the class best. So the same goes for if you need a review session or if you need some extra help, reach out to me. It really is just whatever works best for you. So if you're able to just use the book, great. If you need the book and the lecture, great. If you need book, lecture, and office hours, great. It's just whatever gets you to the score that you're really hoping for in this class. Okay, we've got the important dates listed here, and you can see on this list that we've got kind of assignments that are going to be due, right to back. So 6-2, 6-3, 6-4, you can kind of understand what I'm saying here about making sure that you're really staying on top of the material. Then we've got the exams listed down here, so make sure that you follow along with those. And of course, I've now decided that all of my syllabi are going to have this at the bottom. In the event that we have to change this for some reason that was unforeseen, then just be flexible, and hopefully this is just our course and there aren't really any changes that need to be made. I just finished this course for the Maymester, so if you hear me reference something about Maymester in the lecture recordings, it's because those are just the recordings that I took, a week ago, and I'm plugging into your course now. So that's something to be aware of. But other than that, I mean, all of the content is the same. It's the same textbook. Okay, the next thing I want to do is I'm going to navigate away from the syllabus for just a minute, and I would like to instead go over and take a look at Cengage and Blackboard. So let's see if this will share. Maybe it's thinking about it. I'm pretty sure this is my computer's way of making me pay penance for running like 19 programs on here at once. So bear with me, y'all. We will get to that other screen eventually. While we're waiting for it, the screen that I'm taking you to is just the Cengage textbook. So it's going to give you an overview of what you're going to see on that screen. And on the very first page, you're going to see all of the chapters divided out, and you're also going to see a test at the end of each of the 3 chapters. So after 1, 2, and 3, you'll see test 1. After 4, 5, and 6, you're going to see test 2. What I want you to make note of when we finally get to the screen sharing portion is that there are orange circles next to the tests when you look at those. Anytime you see an orange circle next to an assignment, that means that it counts towards a grade. So any of the other activities that you see that are available to you, again, feel free to do any of them that you think will be beneficial to you if you think they'll be beneficial to you. But understand that none of them are actually going to count towards a grade unless you see the orange circle next to them. Okay. Pretty sure my computer is frozen. Sorry, y'all. I'm going to try ending some tasks and see if maybe my computer will stop being mad at me. Okay, this might end up being a 2-part session. I'm going to go ahead and close out of this and reopen it. I hope that my computer accepts my apology for running so many programs at once. Your intro lecture, it looks like it's going to be split into 2. So stay tuned for the second part. Okay, it's working again. All right. Sorry about that, y'all. Okay, so here is the textbook, as you can see. So I'm sharing the screen with you right now, and you can see that division that I was talking about before, and then notice you've also got those orange circles that I was talking about. One thing that is a little bit interesting is we've got the unlock right here that you can see, and the unlock is always going to occur at 12:01 a.m. So if you're like me, you're kind of a night owl, then you can kind of get a handle on doing some of this coursework a little bit later in the day, or I guess technically earlier in the day, if that works better for you. Okay, so for each of these chapters, it's just going to be the quiz that's due, and you can tell that by the orange circle that we were talking about previously. All of these other things you can do, but they're just not going to count for a grade. You'll notice here that you can click, and it says Chapter 1 Reading. It's going to bring me to the table of contents for Chapter 1, and then I just click to begin the chapter. You can scroll down to read, and then you just click on this arrow to get to the next page over. So just like you were flipping a textbook. You've got some handy tools over here on the side. I'm going to highlight a couple of them for you just so that you know everything that's available to you. If you want to just go to the full book, you don't want to go to a particular chapter, you can click over here on the right-hand side. Another thing you can do is the read speak option. So read speak basically gives you the option to go in and have the book read to you. So maybe you need additional help beyond the lectures, maybe you need it said to you just directly the way that it's written in the textbook. In that instance, you can come over here and you can go slow, medium, fast, very fast. So if there's something that you're not quite grasping and you need them to go slow, you can change the reading speed. If you're like me, slow reading drives me insane. It's one of my pet peeves. So I generally, if I'm going to do something like this, I would have it go fast or very fast. It's whatever works best for you. And you can pick different accents. So let's say female Australian. All right.
Regulation and providing social services. Conservative support traditional.
So you can see there that it's just reading it out loud to you. So that's one option that's available for you. Another thing that might help you out is you can go in and you can add a note to that section. So it's basically like a little sticky note, just a digital one. You can also go in and add a flashcard. So you could pick out a key term. Let's say that something wasn't highlighted, but you think it's an important part of the textbook and you're going to have a hard time remembering it. You can actually put that key term right here, and the part that you highlighted becomes the definition. Which brings me to another one of the kind of cool features in MindTap, which is you have flashcards over here on the right-hand side. So you can go in, political culture, next card, conservative, next card, liberal, next card. Let's say that we weren't sure what ranchero culture was. We can go in, we flip the card, and we see the definition on the back there. So I think that those are some of the more helpful features that you have on Cengage. If any of those work for you, great. Like I said before, it's just whatever works best for you. So if any of those things don't work for you, feel free to disregard them. Okay. And then let's go back. Go back over here. We can also go in and we can highlight the text. Now, I'm not a super visual person, but I know that it really helps some of my students if they go in and are able to highlight in different colors. So maybe you do one for key terms, maybe you do another one for something that you need to go back and review later. That's something that's open and an option for you also. Let's go back to where we started off before. I want to go to filters, and I'm going to go towards counts towards a grade. Counts towards a grade, as you can see, will take away all of those other activities. So if I just feel overwhelmed by the amount that I can see, I can instead go in here and I can just click on each of these and it'll show me what is due for that particular chapter. Same thing with due date. Let's say I get overwhelmed by just looking at all of the material at once. I can go in and just have it all arranged based on the due date as well. The other way you can look at that is based on week. So here you can see week 1, and it has it all listed out for us, week 2, so on and so forth. So that's just another way to help keep you organized if you feel like that works best for you. Okay, one thing I want to do is I want to bring us over to Blackboard really quickly. Maybe I can do that. Let me stop sharing this screen just real quick. So I stopped sharing that. Then I'm going to switch over to our other course. Sorry, y'all. I work with multiple screens. Otherwise I'm not able to distract myself. Let's see. Okay. We're going to go back in. We're going to share the screen again. Okay. So you can see here, this is the Blackboard course. Super important that when you first get in, you're going to be able to see announcements. So anytime that there's some kind of an update, something that I really need y'all to know, I'm going to communicate it here. I'm also going to communicate it through your TCC email address. So I'll click on Create Announcement. I'll say whatever I have to say. You'll see the new announcement that appears right here, and you're also going to get a copy of that to your TCC email. Super important to be checking your TCC email. Also, if you need to email me, please use your TCC email. I'm not opening emails from other accounts, so like Gmail or Hotmail or Yahoo or whatever. Please just stick to your TCC email. We're trying to be super cautious right now, especially with cybersecurity. So just make sure you're emailing through the TCC account. Okay, over here on the left-hand side, you're going to be able to see some other items that are available to you. So lessons, my grades, lessons, let's look at that one first. Lessons is going to have your PowerPoint slides. All of the PowerPoint slides are available for you, just like all of the lecture recordings are going to be available for you. So like I said, we're going to open everything in batches, so you will be able to work a few days ahead if you prefer to do that. My grades, of course, that's just going to show you your grades. Course evaluation, at some point during the course, you're going to click over here and you're going to say basically your review of the course. Please do this not just for my course, but also for your other TCC courses. We really need those, even though we've moved to online. So please go ahead and take a few minutes to do that, but not right now because we haven't actually started the course yet. Lecture recordings over here. You're going to see within this folder, you've got all of the different chapters that are there. First day information, you're going to see the syllabus. That's going to be that primary document that we all took a look at together. And then you're going to see the syllabus supplement. That just has supplementary language. So basically just like the required text that I have to have in there. So like, don't cheat. Don't plagiarize. your eyes. Don't do any of those bad things. But kind of the meat of your syllabus is going to be contained within the actual syllabus document itself. I've gone ahead and put the PowerPoint slides over here for you as well. And then you're going to see this folder, struggling, click here. So let's say that you have watched the videos and you've also read the textbook and it's just not clicking. I've gone in and found some helpful videos that are available for you on YouTube. So they're from different sources, and we'll just click on it together here. I'm going to label each of them with the source that they come from. So again, you're not required to watch any of these, but if you're struggling with something, these might help you. And I tried to make sure to pull them from different sources because not everybody clicks with every speaker. So you're going to see here there's clips that have been done by TCU, Crash Course Government, which is really similar to Crash Course History, if you're familiar with that, the Daily Texan, Texas Tribune. There's even going to be a Last Week Tonight with John Oliver in there. So there's a lot of different sources that you're available to watch, and it really goes through and singles out for you, okay, you're having an issue with the idea of federalism and grants and unfunded mandates. Here's a video clip. Sometimes, even if you listen to me present it, sometimes hearing it in a different format can actually be helpful to people. So again, you're not required by any means to use any of this. It's just something that's there for you as a resource if you find it helpful. Okay, so along with the helpful video clips, there's also going to be review games. Again, not at all required. Usually when we have in-person live classes, what I do is I go ahead and we usually review with different types of games. I couldn't adapt all of those to really an online format, but I tried to take some of them and go on and transition them over to one-player games so that if that helps you learn, there's another resource that's available for you. So we've got some that are Kahoots, and then my Quizlet games are just all batched together. Those are, for the most part, going to be the later chapters. So that gives you an idea of some of the resources that are available for you. And of course, like I said before, if you need help and you've tried some of these other resources and they're just not working, feel free to let me know and we can always set up a Blackboard session. Okay. I think that pretty much does it. It's going to be your introductory session. We're going to launch right into Chapter 1. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. We can email about it. We can set up a Blackboard Collaborate session. I'm really happy to have y'all in class, even if the format looks a little different right now. So I guess the only other thing is I told my main master course for any of the recordings that I've done. Periodically, you might hear a dog bark, or in Chapter 9, you can look forward to me talking with my dog who is crying at me. There's nothing wrong with him. He's just particularly vocal. So I apologize in advance for the puppy distractions. Kind of in the same boat as the rest of y'all, trying to office out of my house right now. So I will apologize in advance for that. I hope that this helped just kind of go over some of the content in the course. But if you have questions, let me know. And if you don't, then feel free to hop right into Chapter 1. Oh, I remembered one last thing. So what I'm going to do, and this last thing was important, but I'm recording this really late at night, so I kind of forgot. Over here, within the next couple of days, you're going to see a MindTap link. You're going to want to access the course through the MindTap link. I'm working on getting it embedded into the course right now. So you're going to click there, you'll put in your access code information, and from there it'll allow you to take the quizzes and the tests that you want to take and that you need to take. So just make sure that you go to all of those assignments through the MindTap link. It's not there right now, but it will be up within the next couple days. So go through that, and then it's going to load directly into the gradebook within about 24 hours. All right. Other than that, we are actually done. So y'all have a good night, and I will talk to you later. Bye.